For this example, we are asked to use a graphing calculator to find the intervals on which the function is increasing or decreasing. We're also asked to find any kind of relative maximum or minimum. For this example, the most important thing to remember is when you enter your function into y1 that you use parentheses around both the numerator and the denominator. So this should be typed in as parentheses 11x, close parentheses, and then division, open parentheses, x raised to the second power plus 4, close parentheses. So let's go do that on the calculator. If you have a function already entered, clear that function out. I'll do open parentheses 11x, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, x raised to the second. I have to right arrow, and then plus 4, close parentheses. In this example, we really don't know what kind of window to use. So what we will do is I will do zoom, and then I'll do standard to see if the function fits in a 10 by 10 window. If it doesn't, I should at least get some idea of if I need to make my window bigger or smaller for the function to fit. So do zoom standard, and then this looks like a good window for this particular graph. What I will do is I will sketch the graph that my calculator has given me. Okay, and on this graph there are two important points that will help me answer the two questions that are asked. For the increasing decreasing, I must first find my relative maximum or minimums, and the reason being I need to know both the x and the y values from these two ordered pairs. The y values will tell me the relative max or mins, and then the x values will help me to answer the increasing decreasing part of the question. So let's go do that. To find maximums or minimums on your calculator, you want to do second trace. Let's say in this case I would first like to find my maximum value, the value here. And so you see that would be option 4, so click 4. It will then ask for a left bound. Essentially what that means is it means relative to your actual relative maximum, you need to have your cursor to the left of it. We can see that right now we actually are to the left, so we could press enter, and then it asks for a right bound. So now we need to arrow right so that we pass over that relative maximum and then make sure the cursor is to the right. Press enter, and then when it asks for a guess, as long as you're in the near vicinity, you can just press enter. So on this one, it looks like my maximum ordered pair would be 1.99999, and then y equals 2.75. I'm going to round that ordered pair and say that it's actually 2, 2.75. Some of your calculators might have given you an x value like mine of 1.999. Some of your calculators may have given you an x value of 2.00001, something like that. So in this, there's a little bit of error as far as the x and y values that your calculator gives you, and the reason being is that different people may arrow to the left and to the right a little bit different amount. So we will round the x value for sure. The y value, you should have all gotten 2.75, so I think that that value is fine without rounding. Now we need to do the minimum. So we'll do second trace, and then the minimum is option 3. So I'll choose that. So here, it's asking for a left bound, which means that if my relative minimum is here, I need to make sure my cursor is to the left of it. So I need to arrow left, make sure that you actually go past your minimum value, get well off of it before you press enter. I'm to the left of my minimum, so press enter. And then for a right bound, we want to arrow right and past that minimum value. Make sure you're well off of it. Make sure, however, that you don't interfere with that relative maximum that we've already found. Press enter, and then when it asks for a guess, just press enter again. This one, my calculator gives me an x value of -2, a y value of -2.75. And so this one, I would label as -2 and -2.75. 5. Now that we have these 2 points labeled, we have all the information that we need to answer our question. The first question had to do with increasing, decreasing behavior. So let's do that first, now that we have our ordered pairs. So as you look at your graph from left to right, we can see that on the left side of it, it looks like it's decreasing. So on this one, because your graph goes forever to the left, we would start at negative infinity. And then remember that increasing, decreasing behavior has to do with x values, so we want to identify the x off of that. So that would be negative 2. Then it looks like we're increasing in this location. And so increasing would be from negative 2 to positive 2. And then it looks like for the other piece of the graph that we are decreasing. It would be union 2 to infinity. Now I need to answer the question about relative max or minimums. So I would say that I have a relative max of y equals positive 2.75 at x equals positive 2. And then for my relative minimum, I'd say I'd have a relative minimum of y equals negative 2.75 at x equals negative 2.